Recently, the actors taking on the roles of Hal Jordan and John Stewart were announced for the upcoming live-action Lanterns TV series on Max, which is set to take place in James Gunn's DCU. The vision for the series is sort of inspired by True Detective, where it'll feature Hal Jordan and John Stewart trying to solve an Earth-based mystery that will tie into the overarching narrative of the DCU.
Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
Kyle Chandler has signed on to play Hal Jordan, and Aaron Pierre will play John Stewart. I'd say the overall reception to the casting news has been mostly positive. There have been concerns here and there on Hal Jordan's age. The synopsis states how it'll center on the new recruit John Stewart and the Lantern legend Hal Jordan. So this Hal is a seasoned veteran showing John the ropes, serving as sort of a mentor figure perhaps. When it comes to Aaron Pierre being booked to play John Stewart, however, there has been a small minority of people on the internet who take issue with this casting, stating it's representative of an overall problem in Hollywood. You guessed it, it's the chronic Twitter niggas saying a bunch of nonsense, the natural habitat of the mentally ill. Their complaints primarily stem from the fact that Aaron Pierre is quote-unquote too light-skinned to play John Stewart, and that they should have gone for a dark-skinned actor, saying that Aaron Pierre is part of the problem of colorism seen in modern-day Hollywood. This is a very moronic argument people are trying to make in criticizing the John Stewart casting. Colorism is a problem in the entertainment industry and has been for a while, but this casting news in particular is nowhere near representative of that issue. Let's take a quick look at the definition of colorism. Prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. The reason why this has no correlation to who they chose to play John Stewart is because y'all are acting like they picked Aaron Pierre over another actor because he was light-skinned, which clearly isn't the case. People forget there were multiple actors who auditioned and were in the running for the role of John Stewart. The two frontrunners included both Aaron Pierre and Stephen James, who obviously has a darker complexion when compared to Aaron Pierre. By some of y'all's logic, Stephen James wouldn't have even made it this far into the casting process to the point where he almost got the role. Aaron Pierre didn't get the role because of his skin tone. They picked him because of his screen tests. That's how casting works. Your argument could have some validity to it if it was revealed that they chose one actor over another because of their lighter skin color, or if they were only looking for light-skinned male actors, but that's clearly not what happened here. They had two actors screen test for the role, and Aaron Pierre either did a better job or was more in line for what the casting directors were looking for in terms of performance. Maybe he had better on-screen chemistry with Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan. Get this colorism nonsense out of here, dog. Some of these people also have the belief that James Gunn is just hiring people who were seen in a bunch of popular fan casts on Twitter, because beforehand, Aaron Pierre had been some people's ideal fan cast to play John Stewart in the DCU. David Cornsweet as Superman was also a fan casting people had been wanting to see for a while. But if you genuinely believe James Gunn and the people at DC Studios went on Twitter and used that as justification to hire some of these actors, then you are not the brightest person in the room. You got a few screws loose. Definitely not the brightest crayon in the box. These people completely neglect the fact that there were multiple actors in the running for both John Stewart and Superman. Nicholas Hoult auditioned for Superman but ended up getting Lex Luthor, for example. Tom Brittney was also in the running for Superman. And like I said earlier, there were actors other than Aaron Pierre trying to play John Stewart. It's not like James Gunn went, yeah, Twitter said David Cornsweet, so let's go with him. They all had screen tests, and whoever delivered what the people in charge were looking for the best, they got the part. It's not rocket science. On top of that, the only characters that even relate to supposed Twitter fan casts are Superman and John Stewart. You don't see any prominent fan casts come to fruition with any other character that's been cast in the DCU. You think they only looked online when they chose Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Eddie Gathege as Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, the Kents, the Daily Planet cast, Supergirl. Do you see why this logic is flawed? It's so funny seeing people get mad over nothing, or picking and choosing when to get mad at something despite it being very similar to something they have no issues with. I didn't see a single goddamn complaint when Ray Fisher was cast as Cyborg in the DCEU. I didn't see anyone moan or complain about how the role should have gone to another actor. Saying light-skinned actors always get roles of typically non-light-skinned comic book characters is completely nonsensical because there are so many casting choices that disprove this. If that were the case, then decisions like Wesley Snipes as Blade wouldn't exist, Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, Letitia Wright as Shuri, Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau, Don Cheadle as War Machine, Yahya Abdul-Mateen as Black Manta, Idris Elba as Bloodsport, who was a leading role in the Suicide Squad. If James Gunn is part of the problem in colorism, then why did he cast him in that role? What about Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams Ironheart, Anthony Mackie as the new Captain America, Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, Cress Williams as Black Lightning on the CW? Hell, even for the heroes that aren't typically depicted as black in the comics, like Nick Fury, Hawkman, Jim Gordon from the Batman movie, all played by non-light-skinned black actors. But nah, it's only the light-skinned niggas who get these roles, right? Get the hell out of here with that bull.
You niggas is just retarded.
I've heard nothing but good things about Aaron Pierre's ability as an actor, and I'm sure he'll do a phenomenal job as John Stewart. Don't let some buffoons tell you otherwise. If you prefer that John Stewart be played by an actor with a darker complexion, then that's fine, and you are not in the wrong for thinking that. It's just incredibly disingenuous to say, oh my god, colorism, if an actor gets a role, which in doing so is disregarding Aaron Pierre's ability as an actor and trying to bring him down. Don't even try to come at me saying I'm on some coon behavior or anti-black for speaking the truth. Brody, you don't know me. You don't know about my West African family.
You don't know me, bro. You don't know where I'm from, bro. You don't know me, bro.
It's more than likely John Stewart will be the primary Green Lantern after Lanterns and a member of the Justice League, so whether you like it or not, he's here to stay. Crying about it has absolutely no impact on casting decisions or who gets to play what character. You are a chronically online individual who needs to seek professional help. Get over yourself and move on.
Type shit.